Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at a live stream that Bullhorn Betty did where she claps back at Duty Ron, and she also asks her subscribers to crowdfund her $30,000 in lawyer fees. So let's get started.
This video is covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, etc.
And we will be raising some more money to get certain stuff, reinvigorated as far as funding. This is going to be a costly process that we're going to go through, and it's going to be a lengthy process that we're going to go through. So we're going to try to make it as palatable as absolutely possible until we are successful and righted. This wrong is righted. So that's where we're at right now. I heard Duty Ron had a lot to say about Bullhorn Betty. If that doesn't show you anything about how stupid and unprepared and how this alleged investigator doesn't know how to investigate squat, it's very telling that obviously he has a bias. We don't have anything to do with Duty Ron. Occasionally he has some things to say that I like because he's a law enforcement personality, but at the end of the day, if he can't see the forest for the trees, then he's no good at all.
Wow, Betty. Okay, so you went after SF Investigates and now you're going after Duty Ron, a retired officer. Okay.
And considering that he hasn't even done one scintilla of research on the real facts, that shows me he's not very good at his job. He's not a very good detective, because one thing detectives are supposed to do is research, and research well, right? And do detective work. So that tells me he's just a fat putz, disgusting person that probably needs to maybe lay off the donuts and maybe start doing some actual research and investigation before he opens his fat lips.
Wow, Betty. Okay, this is a lot to unpack. Duty Ron gives a lot back from his channel to charities and so forth. What exactly do you give back? Absolutely nothing. It all goes in your pocket. It's all a grift for you. You do not care about these children.
My opinion, but I guess his buffoonery has gotten the better of him. So
your buffoonery has gotten the better of you, Betty.
We're going to leave it at that. I think he's a colossal piece of garbage that clearly has shown he doesn't know how to do an investigation, and that's pretty scary if he's this New York detective, right? So I'm going to be looking into his credentialing, which I've never done before, but I will be starting to look into his credentialing, because if he's going to come after me, buckle up, Buttercup. Buckle up, Buttercup. That's all I got to say. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Wow, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, because Duty Ron's going to mop the floor with you, in my opinion.
And when he goes too far, I'll see him soon. When he goes too far, I'll see him soon, and I'll see him in court, where we don't have a problem with these yahoos and suing them. So we will be doing that, because I'm not allowed to have an opinion of two people that may have unalived their child, but he can have his opinion of me being a psycho, but that's okay. He doesn't deserve to go to jail, but I do, because of my opinion. He's an idiot, okay? Pure and simple, a freaking idiot from a piece of shit area, and they probably do piece of shit work. Don't care for him, don't like him. I could care less what his opinion about me is. You never know. He might get to meet me in person with my bullhorn and a sign, because I'm constitutionally allowed to peacefully assemble wherever the hell public property is. And I'm going to stand on that. But I think he's a piece of garbage, and he doesn't do good.
Wow, Betty. Okay. Duty Ron is not calling families on the phone and threatening them. He is not inciting his audience to harass victims. He's not doing any of those things. He's not breaking the law. The difference is, Betty, you are breaking the law, in my opinion. And clearly the court thinks so too, because you have 6 violations against you for breaking protective orders. That's a big thing. And every time you go live and you talk about this family, in my opinion, you are again breaking those POs, but you don't listen. That's your problem. You're not listening to the judge. In my opinion, you need to stop letting your followers and subscribers gas you up. Leave the family alone. The judge said that this family basically doesn't exist in your world anymore, but you can't stand that somebody told you to shut your mouth. It has nothing to do with freedom of speech. There is a difference between stating an opinion and your thoughts on a case or on a matter, and blatantly calling someone an unaliver. Blatantly saying that someone took the life of their child. That's not an opinion. That's a statement of fact. There is no evidence to support what you're saying. And there is a thing in this country called innocent until proven guilty.
So Duty Ron's because he's a fat putz that has a platform that finally gets the attention he feels like he needs. And he's a slob. I mean, let's just look at him. He's a freaking slob. And if this is the best we're going to get out of him, no wonder most of his cases don't get solved. Just saying.
How exactly do you know that, Betty? How exactly do you know that? You're very good at slandering people, but yet you claim victim and you claim that people are harassing you and slandering you and all of this stuff, but yet you'll come online and you'll do this to other people. You'll try to take other people's voices away from them, but yet you think you have the right to spew anything you want out of your mouth. Okay.
Who the hell is? I don't know. You don't want to watch him. He's one of these cops that don't believe in First Amendment, don't believe in freedom of press, along with off the cuff. That's why I never promote either one of them. I actually were promoting Judy Ron for a while because of some of the commentary he had on another case. But at this point, if he's going to do this to me, he can kiss my white breaded ass. You know, I really could care less about a fat putz that can't keep the cold cuts out of his mouth. I think he needs to brush his teeth, floss, and maybe do some actual book work. These people don't believe that we have constitutional rights. You could see it. They have disdain for media. They have all media, not just me, all media. That's why Judy Ron's not really on a whole lot of media. Nobody ever reaches out to him from, say, CNN or Court TV or News Nation. It's because nobody really cares about his opinion. Everybody knows him, like I have learned about him. He's a putz. He's a putz. So,
Betty, you're a putz. And that's my opinion. You just can't stand that somebody doesn't agree with you. That somebody sees you for who you are. And in Judy Ron's words, a jagaloon. You're not law enforcement. You're not a private investigator. You call yourself a journalist, but on the stand, when your lawyer held up your press badge and the judge asked, where did you get it from? You said you made it yourself, that you printed it yourself. You have no media credentials. Citizen journalism is one thing, but claiming that you're media is completely different. In my opinion, you are not media just because you print out and make your own press badge and call yourself press.
I'm going to keep it at that. When he called me a psycho, that's him telling me I have that's defamation per se. So we'll see what we're going to do with all of his commentary moving forward.
In my opinion, Betty, you are a psycho. That's not a medical opinion. That is not a medical diagnosis. That is me just seeing the things that you've done over this prolonged amount of time. In my opinion, you are psychotic. But that's my opinion. And just like Judy Ron is the right to have his opinion, I have the right to my opinion. I'm not stating it as fact. I'm saying, in my opinion, you're psycho.
We are learning that law enforcement has had these. Law enforcement is telling people like me and you and the public that there's no evidence of foul play. And I've been saying that's BS. That's BS, and probably why the county wants to come after me, right? And try to come after me and silence me by jail. Can't have First Amendment rights here in Sumner County, right?
It's not about your First Amendment rights. You also claimed that the judge said that he was taking away your right to clothe yourself. No, he had a problem with the fact that you had Chris Proudfoot's face on your shirt. This is a citizen. What if I started making t-shirts and putting your face on my t-shirts? You would have a problem with that. Just like anyone would have a problem with if I started making shirts, putting their face on those shirts. And anybody that supports you in doing that, or supports Sonia in doing that, needs to take a step back and take a look in the mirror. And the simple fact is, you cannot put somebody's face on a shirt without their permission. It doesn't matter who the person is. You can't do that.
They cannot like me, but when I don't like them, they try to throw me in jail. Oh well. And I just really believe that there's something very hinky going on with this county. So hinky that I fear for anybody going into this county, and so much so that I have decided to fight this county. Now, I don't violate protective orders. It would be just very easy just to move past this and fight them on the criminal side and appeal that if they gave a poor decision. But because these protective orders were lied to, and the judge doesn't think that proper service is a necessity in civil litigation, we're going to have to challenge it, because if I don't challenge it, this will happen to somebody else.
You were properly served, Betty. The court docket states that you were properly served. And during your last hearing, there was also testimony to the fact that you were properly served.
Okay? This will happen to somebody else. It's already happened to other people. And I want to make sure that we always try to leave a place better than when we came. And whether they don't like it or not, that we're going to leave it better, because we don't care about the politicians. At the end of the day, we care about the people. Why? Because it's we the people. They work for us. I don't work for them. Okay? They work for us. We don't work for them. And sometimes there are some things that have such a great cost, even though it seems very petty, that you have to fight, you know? And as petty as this may seem, this has major legal consequences, not just for me, but for that community.
Your problem is, Betty, you know you've taken this too far. You know that you have harassed his family. You know what you have done. And now you're in hot water. And you want your subscribers and followers to dig you out of this. The problem is, this is now a criminal case. Get a clue, Betty.
And that we cannot stand for. I'm not leaving that community in a worse position than when I got there. We always...
You already have. You have already caused enough trouble. You're hindering this investigation. You're hindering law enforcement's efforts in their search for a missing child.
These communities in much better position. Ron has done nothing to find Sebastian or arrest his killers. I agree. Duty Ron's an idiot. He's a buffoon.
He is not an idiot and he is not a buffoon. The simple fact is he is not law enforcement in that state. What he has done is he has done the right thing on his channel. He has put Sebastian's name out there. He has put his flyer out there. He has talked about his story as far as what facts and information is actually pertinent to the case. He doesn't speculate. He doesn't slander people. And he's not on his platform, which is a lot bigger than yours, by the way. And I think that's what pisses you off. But just my opinion. He does not sit on his platform and incite hate towards family members.
Send him that. Clip that. He's a buffoon. And I tell him, clip this too. I hope Duty Ron actually learns how to investigate before he opens his fat lips. Just saying. Because he's a narcissist.
Wow.
He may think I'm a psychopath, but I'd rather be a psychopath to his narcissism. So there's that. So we are going to continue to fight for Sebastian. Obviously, you know what? There's a no contact order when I haven't contacted anybody. Again, oxymoron. We're still going to move forward with this case. Saying there is an appearance of impropriety in this whole damn county. Period.
If anybody missed it, you can go back to my video where I specifically show Betty contacting Chris Proudfoot. She was smug, laughing, and she even said that she was going to get up in his colon and talking about that I see a polyp. That's contacting. That's definitely reaching out and contacting the family. When Betty was on the stand, she specifically said that she had never contacted this family. And clip after clip after clip, she's talking about, oh, I never contacted them. I never contacted them. I don't know who they are. But yet you had the man's face on your shirt. On your live stream, you held up your phone and proved that you were calling him. Oh, see, it's the real Chris Proudfoot. But then you turn around and try to rewrite history and say those things never happened. Those things are part of the reasons why you have protective orders against you.
And until we get that in check, nobody's going to be able to go in that county and look for this child without being in fear of being arrested for their commentary and their beliefs. And I find that despicable and appalling in America. Despicable and appalling.
I find it despicable and appalling what you're doing in these cases.
When you've got people in the pockets of these people, it's making this whole entire situation a lot more slimy, a lot more swampy, and a lot worse. But if you don't think that Sumner County is a swamp, it's the epitome of swamp. I will be wearing forever Drain the Swamp pin on my shirt from here on out every time I go into that county, along with the camera, of course. I'm a little angry that I truly have found a county that is corrupt, and they're trying to say that they're a conservative county. No.
The thing about it is, Betty, every case you involve yourself in, every family that you talk about, in my opinion, you always go after someone. You're not true crime. You are drama. And for the true, actual good creators on this platform, you give them all a bad name. You speak about draining the swamp and getting out the sleazy and slimy people. In my opinion, you're exactly what you're claiming Sumner County is, but on YouTube.
They are not. And if that county really believes that their county is conservative, you need to take a walk into a real conservative county. Okay? What you're dealing with is politicians. They have no integrity. It's all about money and power in that county. That's all they care about is money and power. You guys need to start finding the statesmen in your county. You're typically the underdogs. So going for the most popular person year after year is not the way to go. Okay? There's a reason why they're getting so much funding. They can only get so much funding typically by people like developers. people like second generation, right? I had an opportunity from the few visits that I had, were there for. I got to see some of their work. They put up big houses. They are absolutely developers. How much cash has CP given Duty Ron? I just think Duty Ron's an idiot. He doesn't need any cash to be an idiot. I can tell you that if I found out if he was on one of the cases as a detective, I'd have him removed as quickly as possible. Because if you can't even can't see the trees for the forest, you're not worth your salt in freaking detective work. Period. We would run circles.
You would not be able to remove him from a case if he was on a case. And I would love to see you guys face to face in that kind of a situation. Get the popcorn. I'm ready for that shit.
It's been a wild ride. This last year has been a wild ride. I can tell you that, from taking on this case and just seeing all the nastiness from law enforcement. This, I gotta tell you, this case has really, really opened my eyes, because I've always been law and order, and I always believe that judges pride themselves off doing the right thing. But I don't even know if this judge is corrupt or just ignorant to civil law.
Wow, Betty, this is the same judge that you're going to go in front of for your criminal charges, and you're going online and saying this. I hope you realize that the judge is most likely going to get this footage. He is going to be told what you're saying about him online. I don't think it's a good look.
I keep hearing it's just ignorance to civil law, but if ignorance is not a viable defense for people, that's what they say. You not knowing the law, that's not a defense. It shouldn't be a defense for a judge. And like I said, they have clerks, they have, all kinds of programs that they can just plug in some keywords and know. So that man read that, and I believe he read this. So it's either his interpretation of black and white English, or he's flawed. And I don't know which one it is. I'm not going to harp on it, because, good God, I hate to have to be back in front of him and him saying, oh my God, I don't like your commentary. 11 months, 29 days for your voice. I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody in that county. I think they're all crap. Your government sucks, people. I'm going to tell you that. You want corruption out of your county? Vote it out. That's all you can do, is vote it out. But you guys can see exactly what's going on. I would never want that Sheriff Craddock, being the investigator over anything. And if I had a child missing, I would ask for anybody other than him. I'm sorry, I would. It sounds like we're going to be campaigning for funds. We've already got a little over 2,000 raised, as we said, but this is kind of past past what I can afford. So we
Here comes the grift.
just got to, encourage some fundraising and stuff like that. But this is something we can't just ignore. If it was just simply I could care less. I don't talk to these people. If they want to bamboozle a judge or this, that, and the other with a bunch of lies, I could care less. I don't reach out to these people. I don't talk to these people. I don't ask anybody else to reach out or talk to these people. I've done nothing wrong. Okay, I could care.
I've proved you have. I've proved you have reached out to this family. Anybody can go back and look at them. I have a complete playlist for Bullhorn Betty.
But it's the fact that now, what the judge said, I thought was totally out of line. And he would not allow me to defend myself, period. And he wouldn't allow me to speak. He kept interrupting me. He kept making my train of thought. He was very frustrated. It doesn't matter. When we walked into that court, we knew we were kind of screwed. We could tell it seemed like somebody had had breakfast with the judge before he went into that.
Wow, now you're claiming corruption of the judge just because he didn't agree with you. Because he saw you for who you are. Anybody that disagrees with you apparently is either a hate channel or corrupt in some way, shape, or form. I love that for you. I really do.
That hearing. I don't trust them. I'll never trust them. This was really, really poor behavior. They may say my behavior is poor. There are times when I say exactly what other people feel on my show, and I'm entitled to do so. I'm entitled to show my frustration, my anger. I'm entitled to show when I'm stalked. I'm allowed to cuss. I'm allowed to tell somebody to go get bent. I can do all that. And a judge is basically saying I'm not allowed to. Apparently he was born in China. Don't know what's...
Okay, number one, the judge was not born in China. And number two, the simple fact of the matter is you crossed a line, a big one, and you pretty much FAFO'd.
Don't know what to say. But here, I was born in America. And America has the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, and he doesn't get to dictate how my press is done. He doesn't, just because I'm an investigative journalist doesn't mean I have to come out here and say, oh, this, and this. I'm not going to give you my opinion because I am required to be unbiased. And I am required to not say my opinion. I don't know what kind of, that might be the standard crap that they can control in their county with their own media. Okay, we're alternative media. The whole purpose of us being alternative media is because we're sick and tired of mainstream media. We're sick and tired of them being controlled by politicians. We're sick and tired of them not being able to state what they believe. I don't have a board of directors. What they're trying to do is say because these people don't like my commentary of them, they can put a protective order that is meant for somebody that is in fear for their life. They're in fear of my words. And if
they're not in fear for just your words. You went on a live stream and talked about after you had already contacted them by phone. You had done several things. It's all documented. And then you accosted a man in traffic, yelling and screaming at him. Then you proceeded to, on a live stream, talk about, going to get a pew-pew and bringing it with you. a GUN. You've stated as fact that these people have taken the life of this child. But then in the next breath, you talk about, oh, I really care about Sebastian. I want to bring him home safe to his dad. But yet you claim that the parents ended his life. This double talk, it's enough to make your head spin. And I'm surprised that more people don't see it and that you have as many followers as you do. It's mind-boggling.
I cross the line, they can come to Florida and sue me for defamation. What they can't do is make it a criminal because they don't like my commentary. And that's exactly what they did and exactly what that judge allowed them to do. They don't get to do that.
You threatened to go and get a GUN while you were in the state of Tennessee. You threatened to go and urinate or defecate on another creator's lawn while you were in that creator's state. I don't care if you like the creator or not. The simple fact of the matter is it's not okay for Betty to do that shit. I agree with the judge wholeheartedly, and there are many people that also agree with the judge. What you're doing now is going against his orders. And in my opinion, I feel like you think you're safe because now you're in Florida. Betty, protective orders can be violations of protective orders. You can be picked up in Florida too. You do realize that law enforcement can come to your home, lock your butt up, and extradite you back to Tennessee. You do realize that you're going to be back in front of this judge in 1 month's time, but yet you're firing up live streams calling him corrupt and alluding to the fact that he's been paid off. That's not good.
So we're going to be fighting. I wanted to keep you guys all apprised of what was in the coffers because we're going to be raising some funds over the next week to get this out of Sumner County, or at least to have it reviewed. Right now, I think the initial fee that we need to pony up, I'll tell you, don't get sticker shock, please. Don't get sticker shock. But we're looking at $15,000 to $30,000 for the whole kit and caboodle. But I think we'll be good by raising $5,000 to get the retainer and whatever they need to get started. And then we'll just do $5,000 fundraisers or $10,000 fundraisers or whatever. We may just go ahead and just raise the full $30,000.
Wow, Betty. Now, okay, so basically you have broken the law. You, in my opinion, no, you've actually broken the law. That's a fact. It's proven that you've broken the law because in the state of Tennessee, it is against the law to put flyers on utility poles. And it has to do with the lineman's safety. And I've given the statutes and everything as far as that, the laws in that state for posting flyers. So you, in fact, have broken the law. Even though you keep claiming that you didn't break the law, you, in fact, have broken the law. And that's a statement of fact because it's a fact. I proved it. Now you want your subscribers and followers to give you $30,000. That's insane to me. You got yourself into this situation, and now you want somebody else to pay to bail you out. Well, that's funny because somebody already did pay to bail you out. Yeah.
I'm not sure how that'll be, but the first initial payment is going to be, and we're going to need to raise it fairly quickly, it's going to be about $5,000. And like I said, we have a little over $2,000 in the coffer. So I think raising an additional $3,000 to get this attorney going is not going to be too bad. And then once we get him started, then we can do the big fundraiser and start. We'll have a little more breathing room to raise up the rest of the money. And I think that will be good. So we're going to do this. Oh, who was that? Oh, thank you, Lisa. That is.
Oh, don't forget to give me all of your money because I'm the victim. Come on, guys. I need $30,000 because I have all these charges against me.
On the right side of all this mess. Thank you. God bless you. So what we'll end up doing is, I think the best way we're going to do this for everybody's peace of mind, which you guys know I do not like doing GoFundMes, but I think once we get a good number, we'll go ahead and do the GoFundMe. Then everybody can see how much money was raised. You know, they can have their own receipts and whatnot. Because I don't want to be bothered with it, and I don't want people, I really don't care what the hate channels say. They're always going to say something nasty, so we're already expecting it. So I don't care. I don't care.
So now that she's caused all this trouble for herself, she expects her subscribers to donate all this money to her to get her out of trouble. But she's okay with crowdfunding for her own legal expenses, but has a problem when somebody crowdfunds for legal expenses against her. Make that make sense.
This is for that community. This is for the benefit of that community and to right the wrong that community has done to me. And I can tell you that their politicians are acting in direct in opposite direction of their community, because I've spoken to a lot of their community. Even those easy yahoos that are running it don't know their ass from their elbow. But that's not my problem. My problem is their community has lost faith in them.
Why, Betty? Because you claim they have?
And I hope that is. But see, with Eric, it's not going to really matter because nobody is running against him. So what's going to end up happening is, because there's nothing worse than a scorned woman, right? Is Eric Craddock might be elected in this one, but I can guarantee, in 4 years, he will not be that sheriff. How do I know that? Because they just picked a scab with me, and I will be in there interviewing people to be the sheriff. I will get them the money and the support that they need politically to run for sheriff against Eric Craddock. And yes, I have the ability to do that. I've done that all over the country prior to me ever doing true crime. And I will find a very conservative, since it's a conservative area, find them a great conservative person that they can be proud of, that doesn't bow and bow down to the swamp. If you want to drain the swamp, it means that the voters in that area need to step up to the plate and drain the swamp. You see what is going on here. You see that somebody can just have a privilege and name and can literally, a child disappear and they can throw their opposition in jail. That is disgusting to me. That has got to be nipped in the bud. That has got to be challenged. We don't have the luxury of walking away because of the precedent that they're setting for their community. I'm gone, right? I was there for 3 days. That was it. I'm gone. It's not like...
You were there for more than 3 days because you returned several times. And during the time, little as it may be, that you were there, you caused a lot of damn trouble. My mama taught me, there are consequences to your actions. Not exactly sure Mama Bullhorn taught you growing up that there are consequences to your actions.
I have to deal with their laws. It's their community that has to deal with their laws. It's the community that's going to be railroaded from them. It's their own people, their own taxpayers that are being railroaded when I'm not there. We need to put a nip in the bud for all of it, for all of them. And I do believe we have a great team in place, and I do believe that we are going to move mountains. I believe that because I'm calm. So once I get some direction, I'll let you guys know what I need. But I just want to thank you for those that can afford it. Keep, bringing those Cash Apps, Venmos, and PayPals. They're just staying in that account until we need to move it over. But we are going to be running a major campaign on GoFundMe, so everybody can have their ideas of what needs to be done, how much money how much money we need, how much money has been collected. So there's receipts, because I don't want to sit here and have to do this. You guys know I'm not a receipts person. So I think this kills 2 birds with 1 stone. And as soon as we have it done, we will roll it out and let you guys know how to support this measure. I just want to thank everybody that has been supporting. We've got some great support on here. We've been going through a lot, and a lot of people have stepped up to the plate to make it easier on me. Because let's face it, I don't really, these platforms don't produce a lot. We don't do a whole lot in super chats and super stickers. It's mostly advertisement revenue, which is why it's so important for me to make sure that that we don't cuss on here over too much, because they'll take your advertisement stuff away and things of that nature. So I want to keep it clean. We want to keep it PG-13. We don't want to make it an R-rated channel for avocation of these victims of crime. But
the thing about it is, Betty, you have come on your live streams and you've claimed it's not about the clicks and the views. I don't care about the clicks and the views. And reaction channels have pointed out over and over and over again the simple fact that it is about the clicks and the views. It's all about the money that you make from these cases, because you don't cover a case unless it is a high profile case. You insert yourself into those cases, in my opinion, because it's all about the money. You, in my opinion, do not give a damn about these families.
We do need to make sure that that we take care of this. I don't know what would have happened had it been any other creator other than me. I don't think we would be able, let's face it, the county has decided to wage war on the First Amendment. Okay.
That's untrue. Has nothing to do with your First Amendment right. The thing about it is, when you're granted rights, but when your rights impede on another's rights, that's when it becomes a problem. Also, just because you live in the state of Florida, when you enter another state, you still have to abide by that state's rules. Just like if I was to go to Florida, I would have to follow Florida's laws. If I go to Tennessee, I have to follow Tennessee's laws. If I went to Texas, I would have to follow Texas laws. Just because you don't live there doesn't mean that you get to disregard their laws.
There's no other way to explain it other than that. They tried to wage war on the First Amendment. Well, there's no other person to wage war on the First Amendment than a political activist, a conservative political activist that absolutely believes in our Constitution and what it means for each and every one of us, that has had a legal background, that understands the true gravity of what is being done here. And there is no way in hell I'm leaving that county with this horrible ruling on its plate, even if it costs us $30,000 to undo the damage that the sheriff and this judge has done to their own community. We will unwind it. We will fix it. It's just going to be an uphill battle until we get this out of this county. It's got to get out of this county. Nobody's going to be treated fair in this county because they're clearly corrupt.
They're only corrupt because they don't agree with you, according to you. You claim they're corrupt because they don't agree with you.
You got detectives lying on affidavits. You got people doing bunk protective orders that when I'm not even their family and never threatened their life. And you got a judge co-signing all of it. If that's not freaking corruption, I don't know what is.
Again, only corrupt because you're the one in trouble. I guarantee you, if somebody pulled up in front of your house with the bullhorn and signs, like you did in the Quentin Simon case, if someone pulled up in front of your house and brought 20 of their friends or even 2 or 3 of their friends and camped out in front of your house with a bullhorn and signs protesting out in front of your house, you would have a problem with it. You would claim that Queen Bee sent them, or Savage sent them, or it's the hate channels. Somebody sent them, and you would have a massive problem with it. You would say that it's harassment. You would say that these people are violating your rights. But it's okay for you to go and do this to other families and to other people. It's not about everybody else's rights. It's about Betty wanting to do whatever she wants to do and get away with it. It's kind of spoiled brat syndrome, to be honest.
I don't know what is. But we got damn good platforms here. And you know what? We have more members of the Coffee Club and the Bullhorn Betty. We have more subscribers than their local media. And that might piss them off a little bit. But I got to tell you, I do lean on their local media to help out. There is at least one media channel that I absolutely highly respect. I will tell you that. Thank you. Well, we're standing our ground. Believe that. We're standing our ground because let's face it, they pissed me off, right? They have pissed me slap off because they violated my rights, and I'm angry about that. Because I have never believed in a million years. No offense to my Democrats in here, but let's face it, I believed I would have been treated like this in a Democrat area before ever a conservative area. You guys have to agree on that. I'm sure you guys would believe that too. But for me to be treated like this by my own people, oh hell no, I'm a scrapper. We're going to court. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where's the dotted lines? How much is this going to cost at this point? It's not a very comfortable place for me to be at all. But this is something we cannot stand by and allow happen. Yeah.
Then pay for your own damn legal fees. Betty, to be perfectly honest with you, then pay for your own legal fees. There should be no crowdfunding with this. Pay your own court costs. My channel is not about politics. Never will be. But your political standing has nothing to do with being someone's people. So for her to claim that the entire Republican Party is her people, it's asinine.
However the fight plays into their hands, in my opinion, it takes the focus off Sebastian away. That's why we're not going to stop. That's why we're not going to stop talking about him. Because this is what they want. This is exactly what they want. You are absolutely right about that. They want to take it off of him because these parents don't want him found.
That's not true. That is absolutely a false statement.
It's a disgusting situation. Again, we're here to drain the swamp, and that's exactly what I plan to do. So unfortunately, you're going to have, victim advocate Betty and political Betty. Okay? Because I'm going to have to be, I'm making sure that this community might have to deal with this for 4 years. But I'm going to be working my ass off that they never have to deal with this after the 4 years. It's too late for me to do a whole lot before the election. But I will tell you, after this election, I'll be working overtime to make sure Eric Craddock no longer has a job in 4 years. And he can throw me in jail as many times as he wants to. It's still not going to change the fact that I'm going to be there. And if I have to move to that damn county to make sure it happens, that's exactly what I plan on doing.
Wow, Tennessee, watch out. Bullhorn Betty is saying that she is going to move there. So you're going to get this sheriff fired like you supposedly got Chief Hadley fired, but yet he's still the chief of police in Chatham County, but yet you claim you took his job. This is gaslighting your people. This is beyond the scope of misinformation. You are the queen of disinformation, in my opinion.
One thing that they don't understand is I own my home here free and clear. Okay? For me to go and rent someplace in Tennessee won't be no hair off my butt. Besides that, the rental is a hell of a lot cheaper there in Tennessee than it is here. I will become a resident of that county to make sure that sheriff never, in history, after these 4 years, will ever be a sheriff in that county again or ever treat another person like that. I will be there to drain the swamp. Won't be the first time or the first county I've done it in.
Well, in my opinion, you're going to be a resident of that county in the pokey. Because in my opinion, you are going to go to jail for your violations of the protective orders. And in my opinion, the more you do this, the more violations you're going to have against you. And that 11 months is per violation, Betty. That's 6 violations times 11 months. almost 12 months max per violation. At minimum, if you're convicted on all 6, at minimum, you will be in jail for 60 days. Minimum. Little bit of karma.
Maybe they should have done a little more opposition research before they decided to poke the bear. Just saying, because I'll do it all legally and lawfully. And like I said, when I was very angry, there's not going to be a damn thing that they can do about it. Not their judge, not their police. Why? Because I don't break the law. And you cannot put somebody under the jail that hasn't broken the law. Now, you might be slick and shady and corrupt and make things up or bend the law as you see fit to try to get those things done, but it doesn't make it lawful or legal. So what they're doing to me is unconstitutional and is not legal. That's why I say they're no different than the criminals they put in jail.
I'm here for it, Betty. You know that silver lining you keep talking about? The silver lining is going to be in the shape of handcuffs. Going to be a nice set of bracelets, in my opinion.
So sue me. Never mind. They got silver bracelets with my name on it. We'll be fine.
All right, that about covers it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure to turn your bell notifications on. Until next time, be well.